Welcome to beautiful Saint-Georges in Normandy, France. We're going to talk about something that interests everybody, it's relationships. We live in a world of energy. You know, your heartbeat is energy, the wind going through these poplars is energy, the moving clouds are energy, everything's energy. In a world of energy, we talk about waves and vibrations. That's how energy is measured. It looks like when two human beings are socializing, it looks like two bodies are socializing with each other. What's really happening is that two energy fields are interacting with each other. Even in sexual attractions and lovemaking, beyond the physical bodies, there are two energy fields seeking energy and replenishing themselves with energy, even in lovemaking. So at a metaphysical level, all human interactions are two energy fields or more, either complementing each other, taking energy from each other, or giving energy. That's at the metaphysical level. You are a work in progress. What that means is because you're doing your spiritual and psychological work, your belief systems are changing. Because your beliefs are changing, then your energy field is changing. It goes like this. Beliefs change, energy changes, causes your behavior to change. As your behavior changes, your social interactions change. Because you're a work in progress, your beliefs are changing, therefore your energy field is changing, therefore your actions are changing. As your actions change, the people who are socializing with you are changing. This is called resonance. What does resonance mean in the world of music? If you take a guitar and strum the C chord, and you have a piano across the room, as you strum the C chord on the guitar, the C note inside the piano starts to vibrate. What does this mean in terms of society? Crooks have hamburgers together. Millionaires play golf together. Funny people hang around funny people. This is called resonance. If you see the opposite, it's the funny person trying to make the depressed person laugh. In that case, the depressive energy field is trying to draw energy from the funny energy field. It's like that. But resonance is absolutely true. Because you're a work in progress, as your vibes change, the people who are attracted to you change. I meet a lot of people who are frustrated about their relationship with somebody else. They say, Kambiz, I wish I could shake him up and have him change his diet or stop smoking. And that's not possible. In other words, if you really want to be a master in relationships, the first thing you realize in a relationship is what things you are in control of, what things you are not in control of. For example, if your boyfriend has deep childhood wounds, that is not up to the girlfriend to do the psychological healing. They won't listen to you at that level of closeness. They have to work with somebody more impersonal. So if you don't like your mate's diet, stop getting frustrated because you cannot change his diet by force. What is under your control? There's only one thing in your control. You can change yourself. Once you change yourself, your dance with this person will change. You all know this. In your immediate family, all of you have a dance that's going on. You have a dance going on with your parents. This helicopter right now is a form of energy. So I'm going to wait for this energy to go by. Bye-bye. Okay, so don't try to forcefully change your boyfriend, girlfriend, or parents because there are only certain number of things that are under your control. The one thing that is most under your control is yourself. When you change yourself, you start to change the family dance. You know, mom, dad, sister, and brother, they have this dance with each other. What I mean is a behavioral dance. If you start to change, you're actually taking wind out of the sails of your other family members. Let's say this is a family that shows anger to each other, and then you start to meditate, do your yoga, work on your psychological profile, and suddenly you're more patient with the other three. As you stop having fights with them, they don't know what to do with themselves because the dance has changed. Another thing I recommend in relationships, figure out what people's belief systems are and talk to them through their belief systems. If you meet a Muslim, don't say Om. Talk about Muhammad. This is a very effective thing. You're not being a liar. Figure out who it is that you're communicating with. Figure out what their belief systems are and talk to them through their belief system. If you try to forcefully change their belief system, you're going to be a very tired, stressed out person. You must be in harmony with what other people believe in order to influence them. This is not lying. People think this is some sort of a, that I'm being a shyster or a liar in doing this. You cannot talk to people outside of their belief systems. So if you meet an Arab who is a strong follower of Muhammad, you have to bring that into the communication. Don't talk to them about Zen Buddhism. It's just going to make them defensive. Or any other religion. Now, let's come to the topic of appreciation. Show your appreciation to people around you. Pay attention, see if there's a single thing that you like about this person. If you honestly appreciate one single thing about this person, express it. People love being appreciated. Express your appreciation. Then they're going to fall in love with you. Then they're going to cooperate with you. Don't make it dishonest. Find one thing that you appreciate about this person and express appreciation. Relationships are actually your own mirrors. Everything that you're doing to yourself is being done onto you. This never fails. If you're being very judgmental with yourself, your friends are going to start judging you. If you judge yourself, you start judging other people. You start being kind to yourself, suddenly the most antagonistic person is being more kind to you. A very difficult thing to do, start praying for your enemies. Let's say you have a boss who doesn't give you vacation. After your meditation, send them great prayers of love. You won't believe how many times this has worked for my students. They start sending good vibes towards somebody who's being really mean to them. And suddenly the boss comes around and says, I noticed, for this past 6 months you haven't taken any vacation. Why don't you go off and have some fun? And people get stymied. But the hardest thing you'll do in your life is to send love for somebody that you think is your enemy. But it really takes the wind out of their sails. Coming back to this topic, how you treat yourself is how others treat you. For example, your concept of self-worth and self-deservedness. If you feel non-deserving and you go to a birthday party for your daughter and they're serving some cake, everybody will get ahead of you in line. The last 2 breadcrumbs will be given to you. It's not that they're intending to disrespect you, it's because you're walking to the cake like this. They can see that you don't respect yourself. And people smell the sense of non-deservedness. I've had a number of friends say, Kambiz, all of our childhood, we were at the end of the cake line. It's because we believed that we deserved the crumbs. This will not fail you. Go to a crowded place and start thinking of really, really great things about yourself. Somebody's going to say hello. Somebody's going to smile. Being attractive has nothing to do with your nose and ears. When you feel attractive, people start saying hello and smiling at you. Why do we call Hollywood stars stars? The word star originally came from the energetic principle of charisma. People who are on top of their game in Wimbledon tennis championship, in world beauty pageants, in politics, people who get to the top of their field start vibrating with an aura. And that aura starts attracting people to them. And that's where the word star comes from. If you want to get a different treatment from other people, you have to figure out what it is that you're thinking about yourself. Do you feel deservedness? People respect you right down to your self-respect. They're saying now that when somebody meets you, within 18 seconds, they get an impression of whether you respect yourself, whether you feel empowered, whether you feel deserving or not. 18 seconds. When you meet new people, they are sizing you up within 18 seconds. Therefore, if you want the world to treat you better, you have to see how you're treating yourself. Sometimes you meet somebody and in a shocking way, you despise them, you hate them, and you're very angry at them the first 5 minutes you meet them. If you ever get into a situation where you meet somebody in an uncontrollable, unexplainable fashion, you become very antagonistic. There's one reason for that. You are seeing a trait or quality in that other person that you dislike in yourself. Like if you recently gained weight and some chubby person is doing belly dancing in front of you, you're going to judge them because you hate your own weight. You hate them because you hate your own weight. The ego doesn't like to take responsibility for gaining weight. So it says, look at that fat slob dancing. That's what the ego does. It projects what you hate in yourself onto somebody else. Final words. The universe puts you together with people who really push your buttons. This could be your husband, your brother, or your best friend. Once in a while, you get very close to somebody who manages to push your buttons every time. Why is this happening to you? Because the God force wants you to come to completion. So if you're a very jealous man, you get attracted to the most flirtatious woman in Manhattan. And she flirts so much that she drives you crazy. At the point of becoming crazed, you have to face your dysfunction in jealousy. So your flirtatious mate is actually curing you by pressuring your ego that has the dysfunction of jealousy. This is why some of the people you love a lot manage to push your buttons in the worst ways. It has nothing to do with your husband. It's because the universal law of nature is working through the husband to cure your dysfunction. And here's a final word about dysfunctions. If you have a dysfunction, like, for example, you're a young lady now, in your early 30s, and when you were 8 years old, your father broke your heart and your mom's heart by being a playboy. So one of the first things you remember about your childhood is that men break hearts. Now you're 30 and you are afraid to love. So you're on your 13th boyfriend, and as soon as you get close, you break up. And then I say, Cindy, what happened? You say, even the 13th one wasn't my type. So then if Kambiz Naficy is smart, he turns to Cindy and says, wait a minute, what was the common denominator in all 13 relationships? And Cindy goes, the common denominator was me. In other words, one day you realize that switching boyfriends is no good. You have to get rid of your dysfunction. You're afraid to love. Therefore, you break up. And then you get another boyfriend thinking that's the solution. The same thing is going to happen over and over again. Work on yourself. Realize that your boyfriend is not your father. Work on trusting love. And then you don't need to change so many boyfriends. So between now and your next boyfriend, I say goodbye to you and we'll talk soon.